And we are live, folks. Just waiting for some of you guys to check in. Let me know how the sound and picture quality is. For some reason, everything looks backwards to me. For some reason, Tug is here and says it's lonely here. Yes, Tug, it's lonely at the top, huh? It's no garden party at the bottom either. Thank you so much. You were my first guest of my third anniversary commemorative live show, and such loyalty shan't be forgotten. Stupid question. Does everything look backwards to you? Oh, no. This computer keeps giving me these little pop ups. It just told my antivirus has expired. I don't care. I would have been on a minute or two ago, but for some reason, it kept trying to tell me that it updated my Windows and froze the computer while I was doing it. Isn't technology wonderful? Open the pod bay doors, Hal. I can't do that, Dave. Let's see. A bunch of people are here as well. Let's see. Tom the Hungry Jerk says, hey, hey, hey. Hey, Tom, looking good. Keith E says, we don't need no stinking bunnies. No, it's badgers. Badgers? We don't need no stinking badgers. Let's just. Oh, a lot of people having fellowship. Gary Carpenter he's back. Says happy Easter Day, everyone. John Doe says I'll be Bach. I'll be Bach. I'll be Beethoven. Let's just see what else we got going on. Superplex is here. Says happy Easter. Tug says chocolate bunnies are acceptable. They certainly are. They certainly are. Cindy D is here. Says hello, everyone. Cindy, I'm so glad you could make it. Thank you for joining us. Keithy says, is there a video feed or is it just me not giving you XX? I'm not entirely sure. Can everyone else see me, by the way? If you can see me, let me know in the comments below. Let's just see. Oh, the House of Alex is here. It says, hey, guys, my wife loved your video. So I'll get to that in a second. I'll make sure to say hi to everybody. But my wife absolutely adored your most recent video. Ken Wilkinson says, good evening, Bob. Good evening to you, too, by the way. So great to see you. Sean Ennis is here. He says, hey, all. Hey, Badgers. Badgers? We no need no stinking badgers. And let's just see. A lot of people having fellowship. Mr. Led is here. Hey, Thresh. At Virginia Beach. Talk next week gave you a like, though. Don't let me interrupt your vacation. Enjoy your friends, family, the beach. I'm on the coast myself, actually, just a lot further north. In fact, that's why I'm wearing the robe. I decided I had to do my third anniversary show in the Batranken bunker or the bridge or whatever you want to call it. It's my garage. It's not heated. It's dropped out 15 degrees in the last hour. It'll get worse when the sun is completely down. But anyway, thank you so much, Mr. Led. Glad you could make it. I just jumped. Tom says, I want a blue name with a wrench. Then I shall make you a mod. Let's see. Can I do that now? Let's just see. Oh, report user. Oh, wait. Add as manager. Yes. I dub thee Sir Tom with the right to bear arms and the power to meet justice. Let's just see what else we got going on here. Again, a lot of people having fellowship. John Doe says, what's on the agenda? I have a trivia game. It's going to be 70s post-apocalyptic movies. I'll make a long story short. I'll fill that in a little bit later. Other than that, we're just going to talk about some things I've done in the last 3 years and some things I want to do in the next 3 years. Gonzo out there says message retracted, and a message retracted to you as well. Alex says I can see you. Splendid. Tug also says he can see. Tom says yes, he can see. Zuplik says yes, he can see. Keith says, I'm okay now. It was just a delay at the start. Oh, okay, good. And let's see, Shadina says, hey, Gary. Yes, I think Thrash. Awesome. Gary Carpenter says, I can see you, my dear. Oh, you're so sweet. Tug says, stop badgering us, but bump. Tom says, Ponzi or the Pawns. Either's fine with me. A lot of people called me Ponzi when I was a kid. The Pawns instead of the Fawns. I get that a lot from my friends, and for some reason my enemies alike. But the sitch. Sometimes bullies get mixed up. Let's just see. Alex is living the background, by the way, Thresh. That's actually my back wall. That's not a backdrop. Those are pictures and various tchotchkes I put up on the wall. That thing that looks like a storage freezer is, in fact, a storage freezer, but I've covered it with various mementos. By the way, it's bad light, by the way, but if you look closely, right on the shaded side, there's an Enterprise that's signed by James Doohan. But thank you. Yes, I've been collecting junk for the last 40 plus years. I'll just see. Oh, Tom says happy 3rd. Tug says happy 3. Cindy D says the Ponderosa. Oh, I wish I had thought of that. I so wish I had thought of the Ponderosa. But I got plenty of them. I got the Harlan Ellison's what did he used to call it? Valley of Obsolescence, the Patranken Bunker, the bridge, the Dragon's Back, but the bridge is just punchier. Keith Wilkinson says, I was in Cape Cod Friday, Bob. We went to the Pirate Museum. Oh, the Wadia Museum? That's down the road from where I work. I hope you had a good time. That dilapidated building across the street, by the way, that was at one time the Chinese restaurant I was always talking about. Ken, I hope you had a great time. Gary Carpenter says KW Savannah, Georgia has a pirate restaurant. No kidding. I can see that. There used to be one in Yarmouth too. Actually, it was called Red Face Jack's, owned by the same outfit I was. It was more of a seafood restaurant than a pirate themed restaurant, but you see where this is going. Let's just see what else we get going on here. Wow, I really fell behind. So I'm going to try to catch up. A lot of people having fellowship. Gonzo out there says, hey, Thrash, congratulations on 3 years of sweet content. Your face is blurry. I think it's the bad lighting, to be honest with you. Let me just try something here. Yeah, see, if I put the light up too much, it kind of washes me out. Is that better or worse? I'll get back to you in just a second. John Doe says 80s post-apocalyptic me, she. Not familiar with that one, but I'm sure it was a good one. Tug says, I'll try to give people 5-10 seconds before answering your trivia questions. LOL. Tom says, thanks, people. Zubalik says, the trivia, something that is familiar to many zeros percent of the population. I made the multiple choice, and I actually have clues for this one. Kid Scott 76 is here. He says, hey, Thrash, having Easter so sound off, but still here. So glad you could make it, Kevin. Welcome to the party. So glad you could make it. Always nice having you with us. Daryl Johnson says, Bob, other brother Daryl, how you doing? A lot of people saying hi to each other. I'm going to try to skip through those to catch back up. Cindy D says, we will zap them. Hungry jerk. Yes, you are one of my mods as well. And again, you have the power to meet justice. Tracy says, hi, guys. And hi to you, too. Tracy, so nice to see you. Tom says, met Harlan Ellison 40 years ago. Somewhere, this is actually, my laptop is on my desk, my secretary, as it were. Somewhere in this desk, I have the letter Harlan Ellison wrote to me, chastising me for my ignorance on science fiction. Yes, I kept it after all these years. David Sundstrom. Oh my God, David is in the house, and I just jumped, but David says, can't stick around. We've got family over for Easter, but I just wanted to say congratulations to my friend Bob. Thank you. Happy 3rd anniversary, my friend. Dave, you were instrumental in me starting out from the get-go. I can't thank you enough. Thank you for dropping by. Please be with your friends and family. Have a wonderful evening. Happy Easter. But it means a lot to me that you stopped by tonight. Peace. Everyone's saying hi to everyone. Everyone's so friendly. Everybody having fellowship. Fellowship of the Pawns. Sydney says, "You're breaking up. You're breaking up. You're breaking up." I'll try to stop doing that. Big Guys 45 is here. He says hi. And hi to you too, by the way. So nice to have you, Big Guys. Alex says, "Is the feed buffering for anyone else?" Could just be my end. I think it buffered for a little bit because Sydney said I was breaking up, but we will try to endeavor to persevere. I may not have good internet access down here in my basement. If it continues to be a problem, I might relocate upstairs. We'll do a part A, part B. We'll have an intermission in the intervening intermissionette. But I will press on for now until it becomes intolerable. Zublik says, "I understand Harlan Ellison has a nasty, mean-spirited temper. Hungry jerk. He could be a bitter pill to swallow. He certainly could. But again, most of your frustrated genius types are." Tom says, "You're blurry, Ponzi." Let me know if the lighting helped. I actually have to skip down to see if it did. Let's just see what else we going on here. Big Guys 45 says, "I'm not making any more content for over a month now due to that goddamn unsub glitch. LOL. Such a sad little bummer. Now, more than understand." Cindy D says, "Message retracted." And a message retracted to you too. Tom says, "Zuper, he was a drunk when I met him." Oh, he was drunk when I met him. He was actually drunk at the time. Gary Gabbard says, "Alex, it's not you, it's me too." All right, well, hopefully, oh, and the Apocalypse movie was She. I'm not familiar with She. I'm surprised. There's an 80s Apocalypse movie I'm not familiar with. Sean says, "Whichever said Thrash is blurry." Oh, I'm sorry. He spelled it with a Y. I thought it's abbreviation of which. "Whoever said Thrash is blurry, set your resolution to 720p or higher on your end." Good to know. Good to know. Because usually when there's issues, I can actually see it on my own screen, and I can't. Strange. But anyway, we will work it out. We will continue. Zublik says, "Terrible to hear that, big guy." Yes, commiserations, Big Guys 45s. Cindy D says, "Can't hear you, Thrash." Can anyone else not hear me? This may be a very short show, people. I just jumped again. Give me a second. I can't hear you, Thrash. Tom says, "Ellison was a big time drunk. I had known that for some time." Tug said, "I'd be proud to be the chided by Harlan Ellison too." It was. It was. I must confess, it was something of a feather in the cap. CDD says, "Rebooted. It's better now." I had to do that with my computer too, by the way. So anyway, sorry for the technical glitches though, but it seems like it's on both sides of the spectrum. Someday I'm gonna have to figure out how this computer works. Oh, by the way, good news! I'm taking a computer class starting May 16th, so I might actually be ready for the 21st century by the end of the summer. It's long overdue. Ziplik says, "Hello, Tracy, and happy Passover." Yes, Tracy, happy Passover to you as well, by the way. I've been just saying happy Easter, so I wanted to avoid that, but happy Passover to you. A lot of people saying hello to Dave. Oh, Tom says this group is a second family to me. To you as well, Tom. Thank you so much. Uh, Tug says, "I have got no buffering, but the resolution has dipped in and out, probably just because of the connection." I'm wondering, something like this happened to me once. It's getting dark, and my natural light is fading. That's actually caused some glitch because my computer tries to stay on an even keel. That might have something to do with it, but it's almost completely dark out now. But oh, Tom says it's a little better. Gary Cupboard says, "Is Music Girl in the house?" Haven't seen her yet, but hopefully she can make an appearance. Let's just see. Alex says, "Yeah, the resolution is low, but the sound is good." Is the lighting? Maybe if I there we go. I'm gonna just keep playing with the lighting. Like that's gonna help. Zublik says, "Your bit rate has evidently dropped, T-Pawns." I wonder if see the modem's upstairs. I wonder if that has something to do with it because I know my mother's laptop doesn't work as well as because it's further from the modem. I don't pretend to understand how this exists. If this makes any sense to you, let me know. But apologies. I also have to dip my head a lot, by the way, because the computer is down here. My camera is up there because it's on another shelf. But we shall try to persevere. Sean says, "I hear you fine, Thresh. Excellent." Daryl says, "I hear you just fine." And Tom as well. So Luke says, "I have got it at 1080p and it's still the same." John Doe says she has the woman from Conan the Barbarian, Sandal Bergman, 1985. I've got to check this film out. I'm not familiar with it. I've got to check this film out. He says, I went out, shut it off, and back on, and now it's perfect. I don't recommend people shut me off, but for those of you who reboot, it seems to be helping. So people do what you'd like to do. Gary Carver says, I see and hear you. Can you see me? Can you hear me? And Duplex says every time T-Pawns dips his head, his definition drops. Okay, I'm gonna try to. What I'll try to do is I'll try not to dip my head as much, and we'll see how that works. I'm just gonna move my eyes. Is that better? Cindy says, I remember when computers were just for word processing. LOL, Thrash. I remember those days too. Tom says Bergman posed nude for Playboy. I think this like I remember the girl from Conan doing that. So yes, I do remember that. Tracy says, "Good for you, Robert. You will be an expert. Thanks for the Passover wishes. You're very, very, very welcome." Says Ingmar Bergman, gross. Somebody says, "Who?" Hungry Jerk, Ingmar Bergman, the director. And then Tom says, "No, Sandal Bergman." There you go. Gary Carpenter says, "She, the movie 1935, Randolph Scott and Helen Mack." Tug says, "Gary, I thought I was the only thinking about the 1935 She." No, there's more film buffs on this channel than you would think. Zublik says, "Yes, it is better." Okay, that's good. That's good. Oh, and by the way, Alex, because let's get too far because I know you usually have to crash early because you're in a different time zone. But anyway, House of Alex did a video. It's men breakup songs versus woman breakup songs, and all the men breakup songs are about, oh, I can't go on, oh, she was my life, oh, I'm shattered, destroyed. And all the women breakup songs, the women are singing, bye, have a nice life, I am so better off without you. And it's funny the fundamental difference between the two. And I showed it to my wife and she was in hysterics, in absolute hysterics. Oh, and by the way, that song by Miley Cyrus is her favorite song. I know. I listen to it all day long. Tug says, I still miss Word Perfect on my IBM PC, Junior. Gary Cameron says, Geek. I Googled it. John Doe says, what's your top 5 songs that you must have on your playlist? Okay, Journey Don't Stop Believin'. Bob Seger's Night Moves. Meatloaf. Oh, that's a toughie. Everything Faster Than Everything Else. I know there's a lot in his catalog, but I had to go with that one. I would then probably have to go with, let's see, 2 more. Something by Jim Croce, probably Operator. And rounding out, oh, I don't know. Probably something, I don't know, number 5. Oh, it's always the 5th one that's the toughest. Boston, More Than a Feeling. I'll go with that one. And let's see, a bunch of people just showed up while I was pontificating, so I'm going to try to catch up. Wajamin is in the house, says hello, everyone. Wajamin, I love your latest battery of jokes. Absolutely phenomenal. Cindy D says, you have to pay for word processing now. Sucks. Alex says, appreciate the shout out at Thrash. It was a fun one to make. Bit of a social Bergman related. Ooh, that's an excellent question. Off the hand, I don't know, but would it be kick. Tracy says, I miss my IBM Seletric. Wajamin says, hello, Tug. Oh, a lot of people saying hello to Wajamin. Terrell Eugene Bellinger is in the house, says, happy Easter and happy third anniversary. I'm kind of under the weather. Oh, Tab, I hope you feel better, but thank you so much for making the show. Can't tell you how much that means to me. But I hope you feel better, man. Tug says, yeah, the whole needing to subscribe to use word processor is so dystopian and awful. Oh, that reminds me. What I was saying before, I don't know if any of you saw Mark Zerke. I always mispronounce his name. It's like Hickory, so I have to say Hickory. Mark Zickery of Star Command just posted a new video. It was many of you and I have already talked about this. It was a made-for-TV movie from the framework of Name of the Game, but it was this really slick, futuristic post-apocalyptic film made for TV movie. And I was just remarking about how all these sort of early mid-70s post-apocalyptic films all had a very similar flavor to them. So that's why I decided to go post-apocalyptic with this show. Zublik says, I remember when Vidic was the first word processor. It was manufactured by Exxon of all things. Wow. Exxon. Well, of course, they had all the connection to all the plastics through their connections with petroleum. John Doe says Motorhead has a breakup song from the Maris View. It's called The Game. Tom says it's about 20 minutes. In about 20 minutes, gonna have to leave for a few. Got a lasagna in the oven. Doug is pontificating. Yes, indeed. Well, you know what? Perhaps we should start the trivia game now. I'm going to go through. And Loud and Sad Ending is here. He says buffering, and hello to you too. Yeah, a lot of people have that problem. The trick is apparently people, they log out, they log back in, and it's better. So I recommend that, but I apologize for that. Gary Carpenter says, can you believe Carol Burnett is 90 years old? No, I cannot. I'm just making sure. Zublik says that was in the 70s when their profits soared after the OPEC oil embargo. I know that didn't that artificially inflate all the prices, didn't it? Keithy says, I have to reboot again. See you in a bit, but thumbs up. And to you too. A lot of people love rigatoni. Excellent. Cindy says, smothered pork chop with green beans. My restaurant serves an amazing smothered pork chops. And Tim says, before we start the trivia, what's the one 80s movie you think has not really aged well? Well, you know what? It's you mentioned that because that's a problem with 80s movies is that so much of it was culturally acceptable, or at least people turned a blind eye to 30, 40 years ago, is not. So I'll give you a for instance. In my opinion, the quintessential 80s movie is Repo Man. I tell people, I go, if you want to experience the flavor of the 80s, I mean, it's a fantasy, science fantasy. So it's not a reality film, but just to what the zeitgeist, as it were, excuse me, I stole a bottle of my wife's fizzy water. The only thing that was to drink down here. I store it great, but I'm getting a little parched, so I'm going to take a swig. Much better. But anyway, yeah, Repo Man really captures the spirit of the 80s. But then you have to look at all the sexism, the racism, the negative depiction of foreign nationals, various horrific jibes at the LGBTQ community, things that just don't fly today. The movie is cringy, to use the purveyance of the 21st century. So and you get that a lot. These movies that I thought in the 80s were timeless classics, really kind of painted themselves into a corner. You'd be better off asking me what 80s movie has actually held up the best. For some reason, if I had to pick an 80s movie that didn't hold up well, I would say it would probably be The Big Chill. Um, it seemed like such a an experience, a sort of like open discussion of society at the time. And you watch it now, and it's just a bunch of 30 somethings whining. It's like Friends without the laugh track. So yeah, and it's a funny. I loved The Big Chill when it was came out. One of the best soundtracks in movie history. But no, the movie has not aged well at all. It's like going to a 12-step meeting. Just people just nonstop complain and whine and fuss and there you have it. Yeah, I hope I'm not getting a cold. So anyway, I hope that answers your question. Oh, Sean Ennis says Blue Velvet, Pabst Blue Ribbon. Now, I think Blue Velvet aged fine. Oh, speak of the devil, Music Girl 66 is here. She says, "Hey there, and good evening to everyone. Happy Easter and Passover. Covering your bases there. I can't stay for too long because I'm hosting an Easter dinner, but I wanted and had to wish Thrash a happy anniversary and say hello to everyone. I am touched. It's so funny. Dave did the same thing. People had plans, but stepped away just long enough to come by and say hello to me and congratulate me on my third anniversary. And I can't tell you people how much that means to me that you would take time out of family dinners just to say thank you, Thrash, and keep up the good work. That means more to me than I can let you know. So I want to thank you, Music Girl, very, very, very much. And that was very, very kind of you. And stay as long as you want, but I more than understand if you have to split. Enjoy your family dinner. Tell your family I said hi. Tug says, I had a film professor who made me appreciate The Big Chill on a whole different level. I don't have time to get into it, but it's way deeper than it seems. Ooh. Ooh. Did you just give us a show topic? We'll talk. We'll talk. Live and Setting says, just like Bob Hope on Carson, I am here and gone too. Oh. Lance David says, congrats, Thrash, on 3 years. Yay. Lance, I'm so glad you're here, by the way. You told me you were going to. You told me several times you're going to make. So glad I could see you. So glad you made it. And you're just in time for the trivia contest. You know who's not here? John Collins. John, I hope you're okay. He would come by tonight, but he did said something about he does have family over, so maybe he can only stay for a short while. He's the one though that all of you. I've got to fact check my post before I post them. Yes, a lot of you caught the fact that my show was on the 9th, which is tonight, and not the 7th. I put Sunday correct, but I also put the 7th incorrect. And thank you guys for correcting me. John actually called me up to so hopefully he'll be by later. Oh, Tracy says I'll come in again. It's just me and my husband. We don't have much family, so you guys are my adopted family, and I could not have been adopted by a nicer lady. Thank you very, very, very much, Tracy. Oh, and I forgot the date. I posted it on my Facebook, but did you have your sale yet, or is your sale still coming up? If your sale is still coming up, by the way, please post it in the comments below, and we'll let everybody know if you're in the Florida area to go and patronize, whichever one it is, Tracy's Jewelry. Music Girl says, howdy there, Waj, Daryl, Lynn, Super, Mrs. Tracy, Cindy, Tug, Sean, and Gary. So glad to be here and to see you all on this special day. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. And speaking of, has anybody seen Miss Emily Miller? I chatted with her a little earlier on Facebook. I was hoping she could make it, but she probably has plans too. Oh, Toad just says, you never know when Emily Miller might be lurking. Always be careful what you say. No kidding. And Alex says, glad to be here for tour 3 anniversary. Or your 3rd anniversary, I'm guessing is what he meant to say. Always really enjoy your content. Keep it going. Thank you. Thank you very much. And on that note, I think I'm going to start the trivia game now. And again, it's 70s post-apocalyptic / dystopian films or questions on them. And they're going to be multiple choice, and I might even give you a hint here and there. But I'll start, as always, in no particular order. Which iconic 70s sex symbol had a small role in Logan's Run? Was it A, Jane Seymour, B, Farrah Fawcett, C, Candice Bergen, or D, Charo? Doug says, I need a handicap. I'll repeat the question. Which iconic 70s sex symbol had a small role in Logan's Run? Was it A, Jane Seymour, B, Farrah Fawcett, C, Candice Bergman, or D, Charo? And yeah, I decided to make the first one easy just to give everyone's morale a shot in the arm. And Doug spiking the ball there. B, obs. But yes, everyone else got B as well. Um, oh, but Doug then goes on to say Ingmar Bergman. No, Candice Bergen, not Edward. Yeah. Ingmar Bergman. But yes, and I know you're joking, and I'm playing along as best I can. So, Zoomerplex is 1 for 1. If you want to stop now, you'd be at 100%. So, question 9. The lead ape in Conquest of the Planet of the Apes is named what? A, Caesar, B, Bonzo, C, Tracy, with apologies to Mrs. Rothmeyers, or D, Ella? I shall repeat. The lead ape in Conquest of the Planet of the Apes is named what? A, Caesar, B, Bonzo, C, Tracy, with apologies to Tracy Rothmeyers, and D, Ella. Wow. Doug's is biting tongue. But yes, a lot of you got that. Yes. Shauna's even wrote in Caesar. A lot of you got it's A. A lot of you doing very, very well. Oh, and the reason if you guys noticed, all the other selections were other monkeys or apes from other movies. And Tracy, of course, is the ape in the Ghostbusters TV show, the one that had Forrest Tucker and Larry Storch. Originally, the ape was supposed to be named Kong, but they were afraid Universal would sue. So went from Spencer, Tracy, and Kong, Spencer, Kong, and Tracy. Get it? They found out years later Universal wouldn't have cared. But they had to be careful. Oh, Music Girl 67 says, "Oh, do you mean Dave's channel earlier? I was a bother and posted a few Easter classics today there. Oh, I'm sure it was no bother. But yeah, Dave stopped in earlier. Dave Sunstream stopped in to say hello, but he too had family. Yeah, Tug says Bedtime for Bonzo. That's the one with Ronald Reagan, the one he never lived down. And Tracy says, I'd rather be an ape than a jackass. Hey. And Ella, remember there was the what was it, Stephen King, Monkey Shines. Ella is the service monkey in Monkey Shines. Number 8. Gee, that was fun. And everyone's doing well. I may have finally gotten the knack. Number 8. In post Ice Age dystopian flick Quintet, the primary diversion people have is what? A needlessly complicated board game, a music group, C, caribou racing, or D, Mortal Kombat? So give me a real easy one, Thresh. This one's probably the toughest as I read it out loud. I shall repeat it. In post Ice Age dystopian flick Quintet with Paul Newman, the primary diversion of the surviving people is what? A board game, B, a music group, C, caribou racing, or D, Mortal Kombat? And your answers range from who knows to D. No, normally in a dystopian movie, it would be Mortal Kombat, but no, they play this needlessly complicated board game because it's really, really cold outside, so they can't go out. And the name of the game is Quintet because it's a 5-player game. Apparently, I'm the only Paul Newman fan in the house. Okay, but ooh, Gary Carpenter got it. You go, Gary. Oh, Daryl Johnson said C. I threw that in there because like, a lot of people think, ooh, Ice Age, Caribou. Yes, no. It was a needlessly complicated board game, which actually becomes germane to the plot, but I don't want to give the game away. You know what? Go out and watch Quintet. Number 7. The principal problem making folks miserable in the dystopian film ZPG is A, overpopulation, B, air pollution, C, a despotic government, or D, all of the above. I shall repeat. The principal problem making folks miserable in the film Zero Population Growth. Oh, I should have just said ZPG. Oh, well, you probably still get it. Is A, overpopulation, B, air pollution, C, a despotic government, or D, all of the above. And a lot of you were getting it. Oh, well, you know what? Since it's D, all of the above, any answer is correct. So you know what? Even if, because yes, there is overpopulation, as I gave away when I said zero population growth, which is the name of the movie. But there's also air pollution and a despotic government. So you know what? I'm cutting this one as everyone's freebie. Oh, Gary Carter says Spencer and Tracy and Kong. um, but yes, moving forward. So you know what? Everyone, give yourself that one. Do you guys want to do scores? Apparently they do because everyone's giving scores. Zerplex is 3 for 4. Alex is 2 for 4. Tug is 4 for 4. Watch Me is 3 of 4. Traceworth Myers only 1 of 4. How could you? All you have to do is say an answer for the last one. You know what? You're 2 of 4. Sidney D says that's fair, Thrash. I do endeavor to be fair. Tom's 3 of 4. Daryl John says I got something, so I win. Yes, you got. But remember, this is a game, not a contest, because there is no prize other than bragging rights. Tom's 3 for 4. Tab is 3 for 4. Cindy D is 3 for 4. Tracy is laughing. And Ken Wilkins is 3 out of 4. Okay, super. Those are some pretty good scores. Apparently, I'm getting better at asking questions. Oh, Music Girl says, because you gave the last one to everyone, I am now 1 for 4. And Keithy says, absolutely nothing right, even with the one you gave me. Okay. Look, you got 1 for 4. And Tom says, I like the honesty of the quiz. I do try. Oh, Scott's here. Scott, how you doing? So great job, Tug. So Scott, you're going to be able to join us for the second portion or the last 2/3 of the game. Feel free to play. You'll have to get the first questions in replay, but I'm sure you will ace them. But he says happy anniversary, Scott. Thank you very, very much, and thank you very much for joining me tonight. I'm now going to move on to question 6. Which flick is not a Charlton Heston post-apocalyptic film? A. Planet of the Apes. B. Omega Man. C. Soylent Green. Or D. Planet of the Apes 2001. I shall repeat. Which flick is not a Charlton Heston post-apocalyptic film? A. Planet of the Apes. B. Omega Man. C. Soylent Green. Or D. Planet of the Apes 2001. And you guys are light on your feet. Yes. Okay, Zuplex. Soylent Green. Really? Even if you've never seen the movie, you've just heard the line, it's people, oh, spoiler alert. It's people. You'll know that it's post-apocalyptic. Alex even said, I felt really smart with that one. I thought that was going to be a trick question because people would think, well, that's kind of post-apocalyptic. Well, no, it takes place on a different planet. What goes on Earth is not germane to the plot. Tricky, tricky. Uh, and Tug says, but yes, D, it's not post-apocalyptic. They're very good. Zublik says the apocalypse hadn't arrived yet. Good point. Good point. Daryl Jones says spam is people. Gary Carpenter says I thought that it was. Like I said, that question was a little tricky. I'm gonna put in a couple of trick questions in there. It's what I do. And Tom says hated eating the bones in Soylent Green. Ew. Number 5, we're halfway there. Number 5, in No Blade of Grass, the civilization destroying virus kills what? A, sea life. B, all the adults in the world. C, all the cats and dogs in the world. Or D, all the staple crops of the world. I shall repeat. In No Blade of Grass, the civilization destroying virus kills A, all the sea life in the world. B, all the adults in the world. C, all the cats and dogs in the world. Or D, all the staple crops of the world. Keith, cats and dogs. I said in No Blade of Grass. Oh, and I'm buffering again. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The answer is in fact D, all the staple crops of the world, creating a global famine. Sea life was, of course, Logan's Run. C is actually in Planet of the Apes. What they mentioned that the reason ape sales rise as domesticated pets and then later servants is because all the dogs and cats died in some weird virus, and adults. What was that book? Girl I was friends with read it. The Dream to City. But yeah, there are post-apocalyptic stories where all the adults die off and the kids have to form their own society, and it's always basically Lord of the Flies on acid. But D is the right answer, and I shall move forward. It says take buffering for your headache. Question 4. Tom, you got to get this one. The evil army in the film Wizards is primarily comprised of what? A, orcs. B, zombies. C, mutant Nazis. Or not Nazi mutants, if you prefer. Or D, Cossacks. I'll repeat. The evil army in Wizards is primarily comprised of what? A, orcs. B, zombies. C, mutant Nazis. Or D, Cossacks. And let's just see. Ooh, some people actually said A and B. Ooh, a lot of people are saying A. Oh, I should. It's the post-apocalyptic film Wizards, by the way. I think a lot of you are confusing it with a Dungeons and Dragons ripoff. Tom got it. What do you mean got it too? And Tug, it's C. Wizards is a Ralph Bakshi animated post-apocalyptic film, and it takes place in the distant future where two brother wizards, one good and one evil, fight a war for what's left of Earth. And one of whom, the evil one, as I'm sure you would imagine, stumbles upon a cache of old Nazi stuff and uses a Third Reich template to galvanize his army. So yes, it's basically an army of not zombie, mutant Nazis. You got to check out Wizards by Ralph Bakshi. It's an amazing film. And Tom, I promise I will review it in the not too distant future. Now, moving forward to number 3. This isn't really a post-apocalyptic or even dystopian film, but I love it, and it certainly had a feel of a dystopian society in it, so I used it. The leader of the Rat Army in Willard is named what? A. Nicodemus. B. Templeton. C. Ben. Or D. Whitey Bulger. I'll repeat. The leader of the rat army in Willard is named what? A. Nicodemus. B. Templeton. C. Ben. D. Whitey Bulger, the great big fat dirty rat that he was. And let's see. Oh, a lot of you got it. Yes, a C. Ben. Remember the song by Michael Jackson? Ben da 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 da. Ben da 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 da. Scott says D. Whitey Bulger. He certainly was a rat, but he wasn't in any movie. And Templeton is actually from Charlotte's Web. Daryl Johnson, in case you were wondering. So sadly, no. And Nicodemus is from Mrs. Frisby and the Rats of Nim, which I loved that book when I was a kid. But I loved the book. I loved the book. Okay, number two. Daryl Johnson says, and no singing. But mother, father, lad, father, but father. Number two. The dog in A Boy and His Dog is named what? Yeller, Fido Go Fetch, C. Blood, or D. Trowelfez. I shall repeat. The dog in A Boy and His Dog is named what? A. Yeller, B. Fido Go Fetch, C. Blood, or D. Trowelfez. And looks like everyone's. Scott says, I showed my girls the secrets of Nim and they loved it. I can see how kids will. See, the thing is, by the time the movie came out, I think I was in high school. So, I mean, it wasn't bad Don Bluth animation, but I wish they kept it closer to the actual book. But of course, I can see why they would have had to change it. But yeah, okay. Cindy D says Old Yeller. No, that's from Old Yeller. Oh, Keith says Huckleberry is in Huckleberry Hound. Tug says that owl messed me up as a kid. From Secret of Nim. He's a lot darker in the in the book too. But yeah, that's yes, I do recall the owl. But yeah, for those of you who said C, you are correct. Blood. And it's actually from for years I thought it was Bloodhound, and I'm sure that entered into it, but it's actually from the poem Blood is a Rover. In fact, in the visualized novelization of A Boy and His Dog, the opening chapter is called Blood is a Rover, because you get it, rover is also synonymous with dog. Harlan Ellison really used to overthink things. Oh, and the number one question tonight is, and this is from LA 2017, the film we were talking about earlier. So for those of you watching, you'll probably get this. The killer algae which poisons the atmosphere in LA 2017 is brought on by what? A. Alien microbes. B. Air pollution. C. A nuclear war. D. Divine vengeance. I shall repeat. The killer algae which poisons the atmosphere in LA 2017 is brought on by what? A. Alien microbes. B. Air pollution. C. Nuclear war. Or D. Divine vengeance. And it looks like most of you who got it. Oh, Scott, my wife's cooking, but I'm bumped. But yes, sorry, Alex. No, not alien microbes. That's the Andromeda strain. Yeah. But no, the air pollution is what caused it here in LA 17. Oh, and I have a bonus question for you. Yes, bonus question. The post-apocalyptic film, The Idaho Transfer, takes place where? It's not multiple choice. You'll have to guess. The post-apocalyptic film, The Idaho Transfer, takes place where? Zublex, Moscow. Okay, now you're just trying to throw the game. I love the people who are giving letter answers, even though it's a multiple choice. Tug's seriously, Thrash. Could have been a trick question. Yes. Okay, you guys got it. It's you're living in your own private Idaho. You're living in your own. I'm sorry, I'm gonna get copyright strike for that. Ooh, Scott says Boise. I don't recall. Actually, I think. Oh, what is the name of it? There's a state park where like all this volcanic activity. It takes place in there, and I don't know if it's near Boise or not. Love the film. I've seen it like 6 times, but but I was Idaho. Well, there was a Canadian post-apocalyptic film. I think a franchise, which also takes place in Idaho, called Ash 9 or something or other. But I digress. Oh, Ron Unprepared is here. He says, good evening. Uncle Joe, how you doing, by the way? I am becoming motivated with he posts a lot of really cool designs on his Facebook page. I'm not even sure what they are, but they just look really, really cool. I want to use some of them as like wall art in my house to cover the chipped paint. But Joe, so glad you could join us. Thank you very, very, very much. And let's just see a lot of Tom Lemery, man, when did you get here? Tom, thank you so much for showing up, man. I've been like wicked busy with the trivia, so I'm sure I missed a number of people, and I apologize. So if I missed anybody's comments earlier, please forgive me. But I hope you all enjoyed the trivia game. But Tom, so glad you could make it, man. Oh, Sean says 7 for the bonus question. You know what? Add that in. That's like your free space in bingo. So we'll call it 8 for 10 for you. Yeah, if you guys want to put on scores, I never get around to actually asking scores. So, oh my gosh, look who just joined the party, Retro Nerd Girl. Oh no, I just missed the trivia. Must watch the replay right after this. Okay, yes. So nobody say any answers to the questions. And Retro Nerd Girl, I hope you do enjoy the trivia game. I tried to make this one a little less arcane. Thank you so much for joining us, Retro Nerd Girl. Oh, and I'm so sorry I missed your show last night. As you know, I've been a Flash Gordon fan probably since before I saw Star Wars. So, so we're going back. Yeah, TV station in my area used to show them Saturday afternoons. So I fell in love with Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers probably, I don't know. Yeah, about 50 years ago. Very sorry I missed it, but the new work schedule is crushing me. Thankfully, I had Sundays off, particularly this one, which is a holiday, although we were open today. I'll just see. Daryl Jones says, why isn't anyone hitting the like button? Good point. Yes, what he said, hit the like button. Joe says, what's up, Tug, Scott, Zuper, and everyone? Tug says, hey, RNG, sorry I missed your Flash Gordon watch party. Tug says, one answer is Idaho. Scott says, apparently the city closest to the location of the Idaho transfer is actually Arco, Idaho. Craters of the Moon National Park. Thank you. I knew it was filmed in a national park, and it's actually really cool. It's like all these like weird volcanic shapes. That's crazy. Keithy says no Daisy Dukes were ever given his answer. Cindy says writing on the retro. Ooh. Zoop says more buffering, acid reflux disease. Sorry, Zoop. Music Girl says happy Easter RNG. Quite a few ladies here tonight, and I am honored by all of them. Ken says good evening, Retro Nerd Girl. Karen Carmen says yes, Idaho, and not from Dune either. Shannon says Cindy D love the Berlin reference. Oh, it took me a second. I thought The Metro, riding on the Metro, riding on the retro again. Got it. Thank you, Sean, for helping me give me a hint there. RNG says, hey, Cindy D, Gary, Carpenter Suplex, Tracy Roth Myers, and Music Girl 67. Tracy says, I enjoyed your live RNG. Suplex says, Potato Land. It certainly is. Let's just see. Suplex says, Lance is MIA for some reason. He was here earlier. He hopped in earlier. But he may have hopped out for something. Well, Tom had to hop out for dinner. I'm sure Lance will be back. Cindy D says, I love that song. Sean, yes. I love Berlin. I thought they were fantastic. I have one of their albums buried somewhere. It's possibly in here even. But let's just see what else we got. Gary Cameron says, Cindy, what song is that? It's Metro, or Riding on the Metro by Berlin. It's about a girl who tries to get her revenge on a boyfriend who was unfaithful to her. There's an amazing video for it, which I'm sure you could find on YouTube. Keithy says, give Retro Nerd Girl a wrench. Oh, a wrench. I'm sorry. Let's celebrate. Music Girl says, you are quick on your feet tonight, Cindy. She certainly is. She certainly is. Cindy says, the Metro by Berlin, Gary. Took me a second, but I got it. The book says, Idaho should be the answer for everything, just like the Joker card. That's not a bad idea. Anytime you don't know the answer, guess Idaho. Me, Idaho. You may think it's small potatoes. Me, Idaho. Tug says, LOL, Scott, naughty, naughty. Tracy said, me too, I love Berlin. Alex says, lose Metro connection, but anyone seen Bullet Train, watched it today? I enjoyed it. Haven't. Gary Cameron says, I saw Space Jam today. Alex says, lose. I kind of figured that's what you meant. Yeah, it's the group is called Berlin, and the song is the Metro, and I'm sure they have it on YouTube. It's way before your time, Sonny. Ms. Girl says, thanks for the reminder, Daryl. Just hit the like button. Yeah, Daryl, thank you. You're a godsend. Gary's already done that. Zuplik says, can you have more posters, T-Pawns? I do actually. There's, if you go to some of my older posts, I actually posted a lot from down here. It's different angles in the room. I just picked this one for this shot tonight because I could put the laptop on the desk. Cindy says, I like Super Train on NBC, short-lived series. Oh, yeah, I remember that. That we're going back a bit. Tom says, Gary, I just looked it up, and it shows Cagney, and he said yellow-bellied rat, not you dirty rat. Yeah, I remember hearing that somewhere. You dirty rat. It's yellow-bellied rat. Ooh, you dirty rat. Scott says, repeatedly saying Idaho to everything just because low self-esteem, LOL. Tug says, I feel bad. I'm always busy when you stream RNG. Love your stuff, but the stars refuse to align. I know it happens to me. Says, no wall, just posters. Yes, they're load-bearing posters. Tug says, speak of the Lance, and Lance shall appear. He is. RNG is back. RNG, I will keep my wrench. Okay, thank you. Excellent. Music Girl says Super Train. Was that from the 70s, Cindy? Some Super saying good night, House of Alex. I didn't see where you said you had to crash House of Alex, but I more than understand. Have a great night, and thank you so much for joining us. Sean says, Tom, yes, for Top Gun soundtrack. That was a good soundtrack, too. I like that one. My sister had it. She used to play it over and over and over and over. Daryl John says, ooh, is UFO and Space 99 in the same universe? They're both Anderson. Jerry Anderson? They're both Jerry Anderson. That's a good question. That's a good question. They might have. Scott says, I think it was Warner Brothers cartoons that used the "you dirty rat" phrase. A lot of people who impersonated Cagney, because people love to do impersonations of James Cagney because he had that. He was very impressionable, so you got to laugh when you did impressions of him. And much like Bogart, who never says "play it again, Sam," they would kind of go rogue, and they would kind of like paraphrase what the people they were impersonating said. Um, so that's where that came from. Of course, like take for example Bela Lugosi, as Dracula never said "blah blah," I've come to suck your blood, blah blah. But Rich Little and all the other people who impersonated him would have him say. Uh, Music Girl says, I think Cindy said Super Train did something. Oh, I think Cindy D said Super Train. There we go. Tom said, just bought Super Train on DVD. Haven't watched it yet. Derek Abner says, Z, a little bit of this and that. Superman, Batman, the Avengers, JLA. Lance Chafin says, ring for you anything. RNG for you anything. Why did I say ring? There's no I in. There's no I in. For you anything. Awesome. Tracer Ramon says, LOL, I thought you said Soul Train. Tug says, gonna take a ride to the danger zone. Oh, why did Kenny Loggins take the Audubon into Svein? Oh, drat. It's it's a German county on the Danish border, and I can't pronounce it. I just blew the joke because he wanted to take the highway to the danger zone, but I blew it. It's actually one of my top 10 joke lists, so you know what? Look it up. Liz Javen says, Tug, keep me posted in 90s action movies stream. Thank you. Zublik says, James Cagney, can someone say Napoleonic complex? He was a Shabbos Goyim. Did you know that? Cindy says, cool, hungry jerk. I hope you enjoy the show. Tom says, missed a few questions. Pulled a homemade lasagna out of the oven. You can watch him in replay, no worries. Tug says, I watch a lot of hockey, and whenever I watch the Rangers game, that song gets in my head because the commentators are always talking about the Rangers zone. Ah, very good. Music Girl says, howdy, hungry Eric. I haven't had a chance to say hi to you today and wish you a happy Easter. Tug says, Lance, I'm thinking Sunday after next. You, me, and Thrash. I would be honored. And Ian, if he can make it. That'd be great because he had to miss the last one. But Lance, I know you know your 90s action movies. And you know better than I do, but I'm pretty solid. And you put Ian there, and of course Tug. Tug will be our impresario. So looking forward to it. And again, I still have Sundays off, so count this party animal in. Tom says, water or bottled tequila you drinking? It's flavored water. Drinks this by the crate. I do have some tequila around here somewhere, but I had a few beers last night, so my wife's more the tequila person, believe it or not. I never acquired a taste for it. I prefer gin or vodka if I'm not doing beer or wine. Lance Javen says, "Why is Thrash so choppy?" Some people have been having trouble. All I can think of is I think because I'm a little further away from my modem. I think my transmission is not as crisp. I probably won't do another live chat from down here. Or I might try it again down the road, but I'll my next few I'll do from upstairs like I normally do. I wanted my third anniversary to be from here because this room where I started broadcasting from 3 years ago, and since it's a commemorative, I wanted to commemorate. But I'm sorry if you're having trouble. Lance, some people had better luck when they dog backed in. That might work for you. Zublik says Tracy's eating rigatoni tonight. Music Girl. I'll just see. Lance James says Tug a week from today. I think he means not another week, Sunday after that. Cindy D says, do a 10 bad jokes list from your chat, Thrash. Maybe we can all submit. That would be great. You guys want to submit bad jokes for me to do? I would be honored. I'm always saying I would love to do. You guys give me. People again. There have been some other talk of submitting other ideas and concepts for the shows. If you guys want to submit to me, I'd be happy to use. Oh, Tom says, love the post-apocalyptic movie DEFCON 4. I own that one. I believe it's in this cabinet right here. That too is a Canadian post-apocalyptic film. Gary Carver says, LC, did you get to see the Sword of Lancelot yet? Tug says, tequila flavored water. Daryl John says, keep hitting that like button. What he said. Cindy D says, I'm fine, Lance. How are you? I'm finally catching a live on Sunday. I was always working. Yeah, I'm so glad you could make it, Cindy. You have been sorely missed, so I'm so glad you could make it. And I'm going to be doing Sunday nights for a while now, at least until the summer kicks in. But hopefully you can make more of them. Zubik says, this has been a no Emily zone tonight, unfortunately. She's probably doing her DoorDash thing. Lance says, nope, CGI watched Shazam 2 and Black Adam last night. Ooh, that sounded cool. Oh, Gary Cameron says, Anne must be busy with family. That could be it too. I do think your connection is a little weak, but it's not too terrible on my end. Yeah, so again, further from the modem, weaker it gets, or at least that's how I understand it. Let's just see. Liz Chafin talking about Black Adam was pretty good, and that surprise at the end. Wow, I don't know what the surprise is. So, Somebody says maybe Emily's doing DoorDash. Yeah, she has that DoorDash job, and Sundays I'm imagining is a pretty good night. Cindy D says, "Thank you, Thrash. I miss you guys as well." Yes, we definitely miss you, Cindy. Oh, Tab says, which 90s sitcom gem did you prefer better? Roseanne, Seinfeld, Not About You, The Drew Carey Show, or Everybody Loves Raymond? Of all those, I had a weakness for Seinfeld. I really did. Even though a lot of people couldn't stand the show, I like Seinfeld. Um, I did watch Roseanne and Mad About You and the Drew Carey Show. Never really got into Everybody Loves Raymond, but I did watch it from time to time. Music Girl says, I love the Sunday chats because my day off. Yay! The chats during the week are difficult because I'm always late or miss them entirely. So you'll be fortunate at least to change the date again. Gary Gabbard says, LC, does this movie have the entire Shazam family? Oh, that's a good question. Ed Land says, yes, it does. Cindy D says, none of the above. Oh, dear. I'm not sure what above is none of. Scott says, I actually like Black Adam and loved Pierce Bronson as Dr. Fate. Musical says Roseanne for me. Zublik says, I wanted to liquidate the Seinfeld cast, Stalin style. Wow. Well, like I said, I knew some people didn't like it. And let's see what else we got. Cindy says, none of those 90s shows I liked. The 90s wasn't a particular good time for sitcoms, to be honest with you. I remember from the 90s was else. That was like my favorite show at the time. Everybody loved Friends, and I tried so hard to like Friends, and I just didn't. I didn't hate them the same way Superflix hated Seinfeld, but let's see, where are we? Someone says, to the gulag, gone forever, beyond the pale, as it were. Tug says, I like Seinfeld in its day, but trying to watch it now is kind of meh. Yeah, I can see that. Scott says, Gary, you're right. LOL. I must turn in my dork card. Epic fail. LOL. Speaking of, have you seen this guy? He's a stand-up comedian. He does his thing is Venn diagrams. He'll make a point with Venn diagram. And he does the difference between a nerd and a geek. Basically, a a geek has high knowledge of a certain thing, but has social skills. The nerd doesn't have the social skills. And if you have no interest in anything and no social skills, then you're a dork. It's wicked funny. Um, I wish you remember the guy's name. But anyway, just do Venn diagram comedian on YouTube. I'm sure he'll pop up. Daryl John says, "Man, just watched Horror of the Black Museum. What an ending! Don't tell me." Best 19th sitcom is Frasier. I could buy that. I could buy that. I watched Living Single. My wife loved Living Single. I had to work the nights it was on, but I used to watch it with her from time to time. Tom Limerick says, In Living Color. I loved In Living Color. Teb says, which 90s adult animated TV gem do you prefer better? The Simpsons, Beavis and Butthead, King of the Hill, or South Park? I would definitely go with The Simpsons. I thought Beavis and Butthead had its moments. It could be very clever when it chose to be. South Park, a lot of bathroom humor, but in its day, it was pretty. And I watched King of the Hill, but I could never really acquire a taste for it. A lot of people don't like any of them. Retro Nerd Girl says 90s was not my favorite, except for the mini revival of the 70s style dance music. I could certainly see that. I love 70s music. Tug says back then I would have said South Park. But, a lot of bathroom humor, but they did have some pretty solid messages if you could get through all the bathroom humor. Music Girl says, I'll pass on those, Terrell, although I do like the holiday episode of The Simpsons. There were a lot of great animated shows that sort of came and failed around that time, too. It's a pity. Some of them, I think, were better than the ones that actually lasted. Scott says, I like Friends purely because I was in puberty. I can certainly understand you there. Lance saying, hey, Zuper. Zuplik says, a geek bites off the heads of which unapologetic has still to demonstrate. Kind of all over the place there, but okay. Gary Cameron says Thrasher, he's nothing but a joke. I try. Let's brings up a good point. RNG, when is your next live stream? Richard Gross says 90s comedies were okay. No, there were some good ones, but I not a lot of them weren't really my thing. I prefer more of the cutting edge shows, but there were some good comedies certainly. Tug says I don't like having an audience for that. Zoops gives me and the chicken performance anxiety. Sydney says Martin was great too. I didn't watch that one as well. Again, at the time I was working. Well, I work a lot of nights now, but I was working a lot of nights then, and they didn't have Netflix, so I'd have to like tape a show, and people would forget to tape it for you. But I did watch a certain amount of TV from time to time. Ken Wilkins says, "Good night, Bob." Ken, thank you so much for joining us. Peace. Take care of yourself. Again, next time you're on Cape Cod, remember Department Italian Table if you like Italian food. Department Italian Table. Teb says, which 90s cult TV show do you prefer better? Baywatch, Twin Peaks, X-Files, Xena Warrior Princess, or Buffy the Vampire Slayer? Well, I'd probably give the game away X-Files. I did like Twin Peaks, though. And, I think Buffy had its moments. Oh, Tracy brings up an excellent point. I like Northern Exposure. I loved Northern Exposure. I have a couple episodes on tape still to this day. And a lot of people like Buffy. Yes, Buffy certainly had its moments. RNG says, Lance, I'm playing that out tonight. Excellent. Tom Lindley says, Family Matters. Whose line is it anyway? Liked Whose line is it anyway? Preferred the English version. If anyone saw the English version of Whose Line Is It Anyway, some may like it better or equal, but I think I like that one a little bit better. Scott says one of our episodes in our podcast, we went off about the dwarf who talked backwards. Oh yeah, from Twin Peaks. A lot of people saying hi, Emily. Is Emily here? I didn't see her. Emily is here. Oh my gosh. Hey y'all, sorry I'm late. Happy anniversary, Thrash. Emily, thank you so much. You made my night. I'm glad you could make it. We figured you either had family or were working, but it was very nice. A few folks, Dave and some others, stopped by as well because they too had plans. I'm very glad you did. Thank you so much. And welcome to the party. Cindy says, I like cop shows. New York Undercover and Booker were underrated. Well, of course, you know my favorite, one of my favorite TV shows of all time is Hill Street Blues. Um, Dust Gimp says, Scott says, I chose Baywatch because I was in puberty. We get it, Scott. Naughty boy. Naughty, naughty, no, Scotty. Music Girl says, hooray, most of the ladies are here. Happy Easter, Emily. One who hasn't made it yet is Lisa Fields. Lisa, and I'm sure it's because you're with one of your many, many, many grandchildren on this Easter day, but we have not forgotten about you, and so you could make it. Also, a lot of the males haven't been able to make it tonight, too, by the way. Um, uh, Mike and James. I don't want to start listing because I don't want to forget anybody. But to anyone who couldn't make it tonight, I know you're with us in spirit, and thank you very much. And for those of you who couldn't make it tonight, I really appreciate it. Thank you. Tom says the Rangers, Boston Bruins, all the way. Let's see what else we got going on here. For Arsenio Hall, David Letterman, Jay Leno, Conan O'Brien. At the time, I would have probably gone with David. There was something you might find this hard to believe. I love the sort of casual, off the cuff, matter of factness of David Letterman. It felt like I was just sitting in a room with somebody chit chatting, much like this show here. So I would have gone with David Letterman. And Tom Lemony says Arsenio Hall. I did like Arsenio Hall, and Conan. Conan was from Massachusetts too. RNG says, yes, Hill Street Blues was awesome. One of my favorite shows of all time. Cindy D says, A Hall for those who couldn't book the other late night shows he had them on. I know that became his shtick, and he really made it work. Scott says, if you aren't here tonight, you are dead to me. LOL. So I hope I'm not dead to you. I'm only here in spirit. I'm kidding. Emma Mo says, thanks everyone for the hellos. Well, thank you for joining us, Miss M. Retro Nerd Girl says to Lance Chafin, happy Easter to you and to everyone. Thank you so much. Happy Easter to you and everyone who celebrates, and to those who don't, happy Passover or what have you. Scott says Letterman as well. Zublik says Excedrin headache number 1 again. Very sorry. Music Girl says, happy Easter, Lance. Hope you have a wonderful day. Yeah, Lance, happy Easter, by the way. I'm glad you took time out to come see us. Daryl Johnson says, I liked Cops. Bad boy. What you gonna do? Do you ever see not droids, Troops? It's a short film centered around Star Wars stormtroopers, and it's done as an episode of Cops. It's hysterical. Cindy D says, oh, buffering. I get it. That took me a second. Doug says, I'm going to have to go soon. But once again, happy Easter and happy anniversary, Thresh. You know what? We're coming up on the hour and a half mark. And as we've discussed, that's pretty much the threshold. I was keeping it to an hour, which is why I decided to go to 7:30 to go back to the hour and a half. But I think we should be possibly wrapping things up. So I want to say, well, first, let me just read Teb's question or statement. Which 90s daytime host did you prefer better? Oprah Winfrey, Stella Jesse Raphael, Montel Williams, Maury Povich, Jerry Springer, Ricky Lake, or Phil Donahue? Probably Phil Donahue, but I didn't watch a lot of daytime TV. I really didn't like daytime talk shows. Although I used to watch Gary Collins with my mother, with my grandmother, not my mother, my grandmother. when I was playing hooky from school. In any event, I just want to say thank you all for joining me. Thank you for making this a really great 3 years. I originally had was going to do some spitballing tonight about things I would like to do in the next 3 years, but that will all happen over the course of the next 3 years. Until next week, and it will be this coming Sunday. I'll be doing another show, and it will be at 7:30 again because this time frame seems to work. But until then, I just want to say, be good, be safe, be careful. Again, happy Easter. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys all again very, 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 very soon. And again, thank you for all the anniversary warm wishes. So until next time, peace.